welcome to Sitting on Bricks. Right, as you know, I've been going through my instruction books that were in the loft, and I'm starting to make a few up to try and just release some cash possibly and make some sets up. So which will I do this time? I will let's do space, because I've done that. I've done the old-fashioned city, so let's do a space one. Right, so we've got that. You need to get them. They're in my accessory section. So it was one of these and the spanners, which would be in here, I think. And with all that, you see, there it is. That's that done. And we needed the two at the top there as well. They're over here in my rounds. Got some rounds here and rounds there. I've seen them already. There's two of them. Right, 4x8 flat blacks, which is quite nice. It's where I'm sitting, just right here. Get them in there. Right, we need the blues, which are over here. So we get 4 of them, which are nice looking ones. And then it says them, which I have a section over there. Just put it down here, and it has all my sort of spacey bits in here with the actual space logos on. They're all mixed in here like that, you see. So I'll go through that in a minute and get what I need, which is the arrow and 2 of them. Right, and it's done. There we go. Very simple little build. I think there's 160 odd pieces in this. I would say the value of this would be 20 to 30, maybe 30 quid, maybe that area. It's one of the more classic space sets, if you liked the 80s space. And what happens with this one, this pops open like so, like that, and then it will leave that and then drive off. And then that will shut like so, and then off you go. Leaving the space station there with the spaceman doing the research on the planet. So if you had it on a normal base plate, or a space base plate, should I say, it would look something like that. These aren't all-terrain wheels, so they're just literally not like some of the space sets you get. They get more like more technical, some of them are. This is just a normal flat one you drive over, nothing more than that. But overall, I quite like this one. It's one of those, I think I owned it when I was a kid at some point in life. The good thing with older sets, even if you've been born in the 80s and the 90s, you know, you're going to get a chance of getting hold of them, and they could be the first time you have them. Doesn't mean you have to be 50 odd plus to have this. You can have this when you're 30, when you're 20, because these are still available. The instructions are, and you probably can get the bits from Britlink, but I actually had all the bits in my own collection, as you saw. Just having a quick look at the instruction book. This was 81, so it's probably one of the earlier ones. And it's just literally a leaflet almost book there. You can actually make a different type as well. It always, which is quite nice. The older stuff shows you alternative builds. It didn't show you instructions to do it, but just showed you alternative builds. And they're more like leaflets than books back then, rather than what they have now. And there we go. 6927 the set is. That's 6927. And I know that obviously it's not a really proper review and what it does, because you know, it's been out for ages and years, and it's showing you basically what it's like nowadays. And again, you don't really need to be old to own these sets, you know. I remember having these sets 10 years after they came out, you know what I mean? So maybe 20 years after they come out. You don't actually have them when you first release to have nostalgia for these, which is good. You know, I find I like these builds. These remind me of simpler times, because I feel the builds nowadays are more technical and you can't play with it. These are, you know, it's quite robust. You do, you know, like how a kid would be like. You know, these are a really quite robust set. When you do that with, you try and do that with the new Millennium Falcon, or even some of the X-Wings, you can't, you know, this is, you know, it's not going to break. This is done properly back then. Anyway, right, go on too much. Hopefully I'll be doing some more. I've got plenty of instruction books that I might just bring out the loft and make. I've got castle ones, I've got Indians and cowboy ones, I've got city ones, I've got crater ones, I've got loads. So I might, and I've obviously got all the bits because they were in a job lot. So hopefully I might have some second wind and make some more. Hope you like these videos. See you on the next one. Bye.
Give me 2 pounds.